I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
Thanks, Ramon. What up? Welcome. Pre-game. I was muted. We're here at Sports Money. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. What a blown intro. What a way to start. TGIFF. If anybody needed a weekend, it's me, apparently. And away we go. We've got a nice Friday night action. Texas and Ohio State. Going to be a big battle between those boys here. Expected to see some fireworks. Is there a home field advantage for the Texas Longhorns? Maybe. I like what Ramon was saying the other day about these guys are going to have two major bowl games potentially under their belts before they even get to the conference or the final playoff championship. So should be exciting to watch that game. And it's kind of sort of on an island to some degree. There's not a ton of college basketball that pops off after 8 p.m. Same thing to be said with the NBA, and the NHL's kind of got a skeleton slate as well. So the marquee matchup will be Ohio State, Texas. We'll talk a little bit about that. Unfortunately, I took the wrong side in that Penn State game. What a heartbreaker. Gets the interception, throws the interception at the end of the game, right in field goal range. But Ramon Scott was on the right side. So shout out to Ramon. Great call. And hopefully you guys didn't cancel your tickets, as I strongly advised at the end of yesterday's show. So it goes. We'll see if we can bounce back and get it done today. Man, we were really cooking yesterday. There was a lot of good things happening out there, and then the last couple of spots just didn't come through for us. So we did gain. We were in the black yesterday, but not as we wanted. Just a little over a unit gained. We went 4-3. Penn State was like the deciding factor, I think, out there. If that game had won, we would have been cooking. But we did get the Buffalo Sabres. We caught that 4-0. Shut them out. Pay attention. Ottawa got shut out. What do we do after a team gets shut out? How do they bounce back? And we talked about this little look-ahead spot. They got to go back on the road for their next game. The 17-0 streak between a team that was at 6, and it went under when they played last time. Then it goes to 6.5, hits the under again. Makes sense. They had a 6, it went under. Now the books go and grade it at a 6 or put a 6.5 out there. They hang the hook on it. They're going under. The team history shows they go under, and it's now 18 in a row in those spots. We'll keep monitoring those and make sure that we capitalize on those. Golden State on the road in the dog spot. Easy casher out there, 221.5. It went under by a good 10.5 points. And we got the Raptors. I thought they might have a chance to win outright. They won. The plus 14 covered for us. They lost 132-126 to Cleveland, who again continues their dominance on the home court. Penn State blew it at the end. The Ducks and St. Louis Blues never had a chance. And Santa Clara my soul, my lone college basketball spot. They won by 1, not 6.5. So they didn't cover. They didn't even cover the early line that was placed out there. They were lucky to get the win against Oregon State. So we'll have to see if Oregon State's starting to get it together here or if that was just an anomaly. But again, another day in the black, trying to close this week out winning. We've got the big live stream tomorrow. We're going to pop off at 3:30 p.m. So get ready. The UFC's back. I know you guys are as excited as I am. I've seen a lot of positive DMs saying that they can't wait for the UFC to come back. So we will blast off at 3:30. The card starts somewhere between 4 and 4:15. We got a little bit of a new format. We're going to tweak a couple of things just to try to maximize the breakdowns and get the picks out early for you guys. Then we've got, of course, a huge slate of games tomorrow. We've got the NFL and the playoffs. We'll be talking and watching and live betting in those spots. You know, we're going to have plays ready there. We've got a big NHL card. We've got the NBA. We've got, 150 college basketball games. It's sports night, and it's tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But tonight, we've got work to do, and you guys have some homework. Get out there and check out First Strike and check out VB MMA Picks. You guys get some action early. 7 plays broken down for the UFC card, including the co-main and main events between the two shows. And we're just getting rolling. Shout out to my guy, Ixnizzle, with the golf bets out there. We've got a golf video that was produced yesterday. A little short notice. It was a Hawaii battle, but we're going to work on that so that we can make sure that we get that right for you guys. Still plenty of value, though. A lot of top 10 and top 20 picks between, our guy Ick put out 5 players that he got involved with. I've got 1. And shout out to Ramon. I heard Ramon firing away last night. He put 5 golfers out there yesterday. So we're building out the golf content. MMA Jeff's going to get some head-to-head golf matchups for you guys here. More action, more sports, more content as we continue our quest to be the tip of the spear. We want to be the preeminent destination for you folks to get all your sports gambling insights, tips, and best bets. And we're on our way to do just that. The way that we continue to grow that, though, is by promoting the brand. And how we do that is by you guys hitting the like button. We need your help. We support the cause. We support all of you guys. We ask you to support us. Take a second to close the comments, hit the thumbs up, pop the comments back open, and we will get to work. Very important. That, in turn, lets YouTube know that people are watching the show, and they will promote it based on their metrics to folks that are just like us. Gamblers, trying to make money, trying to work together to cook the book. So take a second. Smash that thumbs up for us. And what an active chat we've got popping off today. Holy cow, you guys are firing on all cylinders. Of course, the best chat in the goddamn sports betting world assembles right here. They do it at 6 p.m. They've been marinating on the card all day, looking to share their best bets, their angles, their trends, the unique things that are maybe just a difference maker between cashing or tearing up a losing ticket. So get the pen and paper out and please throw your best bets in the chat. I want to shout out Subhuman Gaucho. Big day with the community tab. Hopefully you guys are checking the community tab out. Again, simple, easy stuff. In fact, I'll take a second and I will show you guys as a reminder. This is how you check it out. You get into the Sports Money YouTube page. Once you're in the Sports Money YouTube page, it's simply scrolling across right here. You've got home. This is the home page for the Sports Money YouTube page. Then you've got videos. That's where we post a lot of our content. You'll see there's the golf video. There's the First Strike video. A lot of other videos from the Sub Club. We've got some shorts out there. We just did a short where Fanatical Jim talked about his strategy as he looks for fighters changing weight classes in the UFC. That's some great information to know as you look forward. You'll see backdated live shows, including here. There's Ramon Scott. He's been running so hot. There's his morning show. Look at him. He's doing the Texas dance right there. You see that? Got the fireworks and laser light show going on out there. Then over here's community. This is the community tab, you guys. Only takes a second to go check it out. Look, there's Joe T's plays of the day. He's got the Canadiens Capitals over 6. He's got the Ohio State Texas over 51.5 and Minnesota Wisconsin over 139.5. We'll hit that thumbs up for him. Here's the Sub Club. 135 and 109 on the season. 2 winners. Leverkusen plus a half and both teams to score at -110. And the full game over 3 gave you a little write-up as well. And we'll smash the thumbs up for him. There's our guy Gonzo. Oh, that was from yesterday. Away we go. Away we go. In fact, again, a smaller card out there for the NHL. So, gotta be picking. We gotta be slim picking out there. But look at this. Look what happened in the world of first commenters here. Justin McCalvey, he gets himself a Twitter page. And he's the first commenter out there. Shout out Justin McCalvey, says sports money is money. Here we go. Subhuman Gaucho. He's giving you guys some plays out there for the college football playoffs. He's doing a little ladder spot too. Look at that. He's got a touchdown prop. He's got some yardage props. He's got a ladder prop up at plus 310. Shout out to you, Subhuman Gaucho. Going to be fun tomorrow. Getting the band back together for the UFC. And looking forward to spending time with the fellas cashing them bets. And here's our guy, Joe T. He's coming through with the Canadiens and Capitals. First period. He's going over 1.5. What do we got here? What is coming across the wire? What is coming across the wire? Nothing. Nothing's coming across the wire is what that was. A wasted update. A non-update for an update. Shout out to Redbeard. Says, you're late, Joe T. What? Sub says Joe. Everyone's getting on Joe T. He is slacking. Gets a little snow. All of a sudden, he's a slacker. Shout out to Swizz in the house. There's Keith says, what up? Mike and everybody in the chat. Need Friday cash, says Swizz. Yeah, and I know. I blew it. Muted. Yep. I appreciate all you guys letting me know. I appreciate you letting me know. Silent Rob says, always check the chat first. All right, we're good. We're ready to roll. Sub's giving some guidance here. DK player specials for the college football playoffs. There's a little look for my guy Subhuman. Nope, you weren't the only one that can't hear me. I blew it. I blew the intro. Just put the pocket down and turn the mic on. No vodka today. It's been a good day. Generally don't start popping off until we get on a live stream or something. There's no live stream. Might backstage and watch a little LFA, but that's a different story. Blake M. Sorry, stop by to hear everyone. Well, you couldn't hear me, Blake M. Sorry about that. Justin McCalvey tried letting me know. DJ says, are you guys going live tonight? Not that I'm aware of. We'll be live tomorrow. I did, dude. I thought I nailed it, dude. I'm the only one that heard it. Whoops. Man, you know, it's funny. So I hit the mute button when I moved my mic, and I remember saying to myself, make sure you unmute yourself before you start. And I blew it. Nasty Nate likes the Celtics second quarter and the Celtics first half. Let's get this cash, you guys. Nasty Nate likes Porzingis. 3s on the over. There's Sir Mackey Loves Pie. Good to see Sir Mackey Loves Pie. Jay Peasy's in the house. Shout out Jay Peasy. Wrote the outro. We got an outro with Jay Peasy here. Does a lot of intros. We got an outro. We'll play that for you guys here for the Friday special. Mitch Morber's in the house. Jay Peasy likes the Canucks team total over 2.5 and the Canucks money line. Interesting note. They have taken, is it Elias? I don't care. Pettersson has been reactivated from the IR. And Thatcher Demko projected to be the starter. Not necessarily today, but just keep that in mind. We talked about the Penguins. Look what the Penguins did last night. They busted up Edmonton. Letang was back. Pencil these guys in for about 2 games from now. Going to be some time to fire. Get ready. Get set. Build these bankrolls. Nasty Nate says only 20 likes means they don't need you to play them a video. All right. What up, squad, says Oldie. Mitch Morber. Hey, that 27-17 was looking for. It was. I talked about it on the stream. I was like, 27-17's in the realm. It's in the realm. Oh, man, what a disappointment. Sancho's drunk. He says, let's gamble. It's the best time to gamble. Bomb.com. I like that name. Bomb.com. On the Canadiens tonight. Juggler 23. Look at this. Outright winners are on a 21-0-1 spread run in the last 22 Cotton Bowl games. How about that? Spread be darned. Can't wait to talk a little bit about that. SB Patrick the Groovy Alien's going to get a sports money tattoo. He'll be the first one to get a sports money tattoo. If we win the bag tonight, let's get it. Let's get that bag. I'm excited for it. Tom.com wants to get involved in the Utah Hockey Club team total over 3.5. And Joe T says, I know there's going to be a downgrade on the first commenter. Yeah, we'll give you 99.3%. 99.3% first commenter for Joe T. Juggler 23 says the whole world's on Ohio State, but practically a home game for Texas. I'll take the 6.5 and sprinkle a little on the money line. Oldie, Team Steam with the Rowan Scott Sports Gang. The chat, all stars. Hello, stars. Wish I was a star. Wish I was a chat all star. What's up to Markel? JPC says, oh, snap. Just got my sports money here. You got mail, JPZ. You got mail, my friend. Sancho, Canucks, Kings, Thunder money line. Subhuman says, heck yeah, JPZ. Mitch says, sucks that the college player props out of. I know. I'm the same way in New York. I don't even look at them. I don't spend 1 second. Well, I spent 1 second yesterday, but Ramon nailed some player props yesterday for that college football game. Ramon was on the right side for that college football game. I hope you guys didn't tear up those tickets or cancel them. Hope you didn't cancel them like I suggested. What a jerk I was yesterday, huh? What an absolute jerk. What else you got? Nasty Nate's rocking the sports money hoodie out to the brewery tonight. Let's go. Shout out to T Moss is here hanging out with us. T Moss, happy Friday to you. Appreciate you guys all being ready to go. Let's go. How about that? Nathan Cerna, Pimp Slapper, cashed my $2,000 Fighting Irish ticket. Good for you, man. That one hurt. That one hurt. Oh, still hurt. Still hurt. Still hurt. Still hurts. Still hurts. I picked up 2 W's this morning and it still hurts. That's why you got to practice unit management. Got to practice what I preach. What are you going to do? They lost. It sucks. That was a bad play. You know, they say James Franklin in the big games, and Ramon talked about this yesterday, and I don't disagree. You can't argue with the data. The top 5 programs, and that's where James Franklin struggles. Trust in his guys. I saw something today that the last 12 years for Penn State, they've essentially always had the same prototype as far as their quarterback. They've got a style that they look for, and that's this guy. Maybe they got to think about expanding. Maybe they got to look for maybe more of a dual threat. Maybe somebody that, I mean, we saw plenty of runs last night from Penn State, but again, it's the backup. So no excuses. We just own it, and we will move on from it. Again, about 1 year. It could have been really big. We had just gotten coulda, woulda, shoulda, wasn't. But no more looking at yesterday. Just a recap of yesterday as we get ready to, got to stay accountable first and foremost, but get ready to fire off on tonight's games here. In game number 1, we're going to get right into the NHL. Get the skates on. Get your hockey sticks. It's time to fire these pucks on the bookies. The Canadiens, mediocre, but on a nice little streak. And the Capitals, 27-10-4. And when you look at these goaltenders, Jacob, I don't know, Dobes, I don't know. But he's a fucking phenom at 2-0 and a .48 goals against average and a 98.2% save percentage. Makes me smile because, now granted, it couldn't be a smaller sample size, right? But kid's only 23 years old. You love to see it. He's getting called up from the AHL. In need, he delivers. Potential future star to put behind Montembeault, maybe. And the Canadiens have won 5 of their last 6 games. The Capitals, they're going to go to Chucky Lindgren. He's mediocre, 10-8-2 with a 2.7 goals against average and an 89.8% save percentage. And furthermore, he's allowed 3 or more goals in 4 straight games. What happens when your goalie can't get below that 3 mark? You lose. They're 0-2-2. 88% save percentage means he is on the downswing. Young Buck, upswing. Chucky Lindgren, downswing. Let's just start there. The Canadiens being 8-2 in their last 10. Firing, feeling good. And we've got them in a road conference dog situation. So you know I got some numbers when I start talking like that. When they're in that dog roll and they're on the first leg of a back-to-back with no rest. They are 15-2 on the puck line. And they are 5-11 to the under. Now, when you look at the history with these two teams and you profile kind of what did they do last time they played each other? Well, the last time they played each other, probably not the best representation from a goals perspective, meaning they started Primo. Not their best guy. We know Montebal's their guy. They started Primo. So, you're going to try to compare what just happened last time, so be it. They're going to go back home. So here's an important thing to remember. Look at this shit schedule spot that Montreal's at. I mean, they are not doing this mediocre team any favors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight road games. Then they pop back home. They beat up Vancouver. Now they go on the road. They got Washington. Then they go back home, Dallas. Then they got 2 games up and again against on the road in Utah and Dallas as they make that Midwest, West Coast swing out there. So this is an ugly schedule for this Montreal Canadiens. And I started thinking about where's it going to be that they strike. They're going to want to catch one of those 2 against Dallas. I suspect they probably, based on the schedule situation it is right now, I suspect they lose this game the next time against Dallas. But with these strong trends right now, I think they come out there, they knock down Washington, at least on the puck line. So the way I processed this one is I took Montreal at the plus 1.5. But I can't ignore the goaltending opportunity and that pretty meaty under trend that goes along with it. So I wanted to take the big swing. I was analyzing the last couple of weeks and where have we been cashing and where, sometimes it saves our ass. Sometimes it's what really moves the needle. And I want to take a shot. Just starting the card off, I want to take a shot. The way I'm going to take this shot is I jumped on, as I mentioned, I've got Montreal. I got it. But I'm going to ride this kid, the hot hand, the young buck. The team plays well behind him. The team's playing well right now in general. They just left home. They figure they can sneak this one in. They're probably going to be exhausted on that next game. And I think Washington's vulnerable right now. You see them over there. They're on the shit list for a reason. And I think that plus 413 to get the under 6.5, really great spot. Montreal money line. That's a money line. Now you can take that down to like plus 185 at the plus 1.5. But my thought process and strategy here is we take the 1.5. We know that they're in that monster run on that puck line. 15-2, away conference dog, first leg of a back-to-back with no rest. We know the understrikes in those spots as well. So why can't they win the game? It's 50-50. I think it's 8-9 straight up in those spots. So 8-9. But we talked about this with the San Jose Sharks on a live stream a couple weeks ago. When you're getting 2-1 your money, in a 50-50 spot, you can start to consider that a reasonable opportunity. You're not just swinging at a dog because no team should be a minus 250, right? No, you've got some calculated odds behind it. And that's what we try to do. Try to use tools and technology with our expertise to make informed betting decisions. And I think this is a spot that we can really crush this thing. So we're going to go after it. We're going to make the big press up on this one here. We're going to try to turn 2 units into 5 units and feel pretty goddamn good about it, if I could say so myself. Shout out to Troy Torrance in the house. Appreciate Troy rocking in here. He's having a hell of a run. Okay, Troy Torrance, I hope you're doing well, dude. Good luck to you this weekend in your football endeavors. Swiz likes Mercyhurst plus 3. And Nathan Cerna's got whiskey at minus 13. Shout out to Leonard Porsche in the house. Good to see Leonard. Let's go. Appreciate you guys rocking. Troy Torrance says, Mike, what you got in college football tonight, brother? We will get to that exactly here. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep this brisk pace as we roll on to game number 2. I got the Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to talk a little bit about these goaltenders here as well. Now, I'll pop right off and say the Steam report, the Sharp report, not the Steam report, not to be confused with the Morning Steam and Ramon Scott's action, but the LA Kings lit this afternoon's board up. And it became clear that Kemper is going to be the starting goaltender. And it makes sense. He's 11-2-5. And he's playing just a smidge below Vezina Trophy potential. He's got a 2.49 goals against average and a 91.8% save percentage, including 2 shutouts. And the Kings are running hot. They're on a 4-game winning streak right now. This guy's rested. He hasn't played in 6 days, almost a week behind him. Flip side, now's where we want to start considering that little midseason slump when it comes to the Winnipeg Jets. Eric Comrie will be in net. Let me clarify this. Why the midseason slump? Because the Jets started off the season so damn hot. They have nowhere to go but down. They're not going to go 82-0. They had that tremendous, 16-1 run to start the season off at home. But now they're kind of punting, in my opinion. They're punting with Eric Comrie. 3-6 on the season. And he's got himself a mediocre 3.05 goals against average. He is 90.4% save percentage. But what that tells me is they're not really playing defense when he gets in there. When I talk about them punting, they're just letting them fire pucks on this guy. Now he's saving them. But look, the 3.05 goals against average and a 90.4% save percentage suggests that teams are taking north of 30 shots a game on this guy. So it's kind of a shit position for him to be in when it comes down to it. And I think that kind of translates to this game. I can understand why they're getting on this game from a Sharps perspective. You got a hot Kings team. You got their better goaltender coming in the net right now. And not for nothing, but if you're the Winnipeg Jets, you got this team. You got yourself in the midst of a monster home. Talk about scheduling sweetness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight home games. Nobody's talking about that with the Winnipeg Jets. They're in the midst of it right now. They started off, they took an L against Anaheim. They took an L against Detroit. They busted up Nashville 5-2. Now they got the Kings. So they had to get that monkey off their back after those 2 losses and pick up that Nashville win. Now they got the Kings, but guess who's rolling into town? The Avalanche tomorrow night. One of the hottest teams now in the West, although they did just come off that loss. But why did they lose that game? Well, they punted on their goaltender, just like we're talking about here. Then they've got Vancouver. That's that circle team I just told you about. Their guys are coming back. They started off pretty decent in the conference, and they're rolling before they finish off Seattle and Calgary. Long way around. That's the old Harbor Boat Tour. Take the whole spin around the island to tell you guys I'm backing this sharp money. I think it makes a lot of sense why they're taking this Kings team at a reasonable price when we can start to line up the goaltending index and see they want to punt. And Peterson, is it Patterson? Peterson? Pettersson. I think it's Pettersson, right? Is it Elias Pettersson? He is on the ice for the warm-up for the Canucks tonight. So, since we're talking about it, since we're here, since we're amongst friends and we have a minute, let's take a look at this Canucks schedule. See if we can't be prophecies here around. Look, it's just a bad road trip. They got Carolina tonight. They'll probably lose that game. First time a star player comes back and Thatcher Demko comes back. Then they got Toronto in Toronto before they play Winnipeg. I would say that, and then look at the rest of this. Look at this spot. Look at this great timing. They got Winnipeg. We saw just talk about, I think Winnipeg's in softy mode. They're going to go try to beat Colorado next, and then they'll roll over for Vancouver. Then they've got LA, who's a hot team right now. They'll be rolling into this thing with another, 7 straight games that they've won. There's Edmonton. There's an Edmonton spot at home. Then they've got the Sabres. And they got Edmonton again before they play the Capitals. Man, it's going to be play on. My estimation is that Winnipeg game is when you start playing on this Vancouver Canucks team. Because it's going to take a game or two for Pettersson to assimilate himself back to the power play and being involved in special teams and the leadership in the locker room and all the rest of that. So when I tell you get the pen and paper out, circle it up. January 14th. We'll keep our eyes on it, but that's about when I expect we'll start playing on Vancouver. Now, they could very well go out there and bust them up tonight. Certainly could see that happening, but let's go. There's a little anticipation in the future with you guys. All right, let's move on. Again, the Kings be the play for me, and a -110 was a reasonable price. Felt good about that number, actually. Seeing at -110, I think probably missed the best of the line, but still worth a line jumping in on. And speaking of a line jumping in on here, the San Jose Sharks and the Utah Yeti. I'm calling them the Yeti. I don't care. Nobody's going to tell me I can't call them the Yeti. Boy, we got Alexander Gorgiev going in goal for the Sharks. We've talked about this guy. He stinks. He's not only stinks, he's lost 5 straight, which is interesting because the Sharks have won 2 straight. Now, Utah just beat these boys on December 14th, 4-3, high-scoring game. And you got Gorgiev at 3.52 goals against average, 87.6% save percentage. It's almost not worth. It's almost like when we see an injury report and we start talking about line movement and stuff. Like, it's almost not worth getting into it because it's kind of compromised by the fact that Gorgiev, piece of shit, and he's playing on a shit team. So, that being said, Vemelka goes on the other side for the Utah Yeti. He's average. But the problem is, they had to pull him out there because Connor Ingram was hurt. Well, guess what? Connor Ingram's out there conditioning. He'll be on the bench as the backup tonight. So they got the little safety string out there. They gave Ingram the conditioning stint. Then Malcolm comes in there. Now keep that in mind because probably 2 games from now, as we start seeing Ingram get back out there, we might want to start looking back at the Utah Yeti. But for Malcolm, I know his number's 9 and 11, and I kind of hated on him. But he does have that 2.43 goals against average and a 91.5% save percentage with a lot of puck time behind him, 25 games. He's on a downswing. He's lost 4 of his last 5. But they have the safety cushion. They can pull Connor Ingram in if they have to. Probably won't need to because they're going to play a team that's not scoring goals despite winning. Sharks can't score more than 3 goals. They can't get past that 3-goal mile marker, and they're 2-8-1 in those spots. So I'm looking at this one, and I kind of want to just embrace the suck. And that suck is expecting goals. It's a later night game. Why not? Everyone's going to see these 2 goaltenders and be like, man, the pucks are going to be flying. And I don't think so. I think this is an under opportunity. I jumped in on the 6. I got it at -102. So it was reasonably small vig. But I just looked at these spots and I thought, this is one of those games where 6.5s were out there. And it's starting to continue to come down. This is one of those very rare opportunities where I'll ride the steam on this one or ride the line movement here. And I'll agree with these guys because at the end of the day, we've talked about and profiled both these teams. Utah's 6-9-2 to the under when they're at home. And what are you going to say about the Sharks? They stink. They're a dog a lot, but they're 19-21 to the under in the dog roll. I would almost be inclined to take a shot with the Sharks. I mean, how long can Gorgiev be bad forever? Forever? Is the answer forever? He's in the NHL. Maybe the answer is forever. But I took the under. Just kind of getting in and getting out. It's slim pickings on the slate tonight. There's a couple other games out. I mean, the Vancouver-Carolina game, I just kind of talked to you guys a little bit about why I'm not touching that game in a roundabout way. And then, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings are hot, but I don't want to lay 2-1 on them. And Chicago just had that big win against Colorado. So are they too stupid to think that they're actually better than they are and go out there and fire a bunch of pucks in there? Detroit can score now as well. Maybe the over 5.5 makes sense in that game, but I'm going to stay away. Stay off of that one. I'm going to move on. We're going to take the skates off. We'll trade the skates in. Let's pick up the high tops. Let's lace them up. There's actually 4 games that I left one on the radar here. And for that matter, let me give you this one real quick too, because I left this college basketball. I've slim pickings, real slim pickings. Problem I have, and we'll see this probably come more on Fridays, is the MAAC, predominantly New York-driven teams. That means I got to go to the locals, and they're smaller limits for me. They've been reducing me, so it's a pain in the nuts to go out there and try to ask for an extension or bigger number on the stick. But I'm looking at Iona and Fairfield, the sole game I've got for you guys in college basketball. It's a correlated spot with the Sharp respected buying report. This line's sitting at +1.5. It's oscillated between 1s and 1.5s. Kind of got the 1.5, and it's been sitting there. And you got 71% of the bets and 57% of the cash on Fairfield. Total's not really moving either. I guess it's come down. Not really. 60% of the bets and 61% of the cash. sitting in there, and these two teams stink. Iona, 5-10. Fairfield, 5-9. With the Friday night home court opportunity, though, this is something you got to take a look at. I'll just be real short with you guys on this one here. Probably real brief here because there's not a ton of games on the docket tonight to get into. So let's just kind of short and sweet and to the point this puppy. This is a fade on Iona. You got to fade him. First of all, we know Ricky P's no longer there. They've been struggling to kind of get back to that form that guy put together for him. And you see what he's doing with St. John. So it's no doubt that, he definitely knows how to coach. There's no question. He certainly knows how to party. It sounds like he knows how to recruit. So that being said, though, Iona, after the fact, they were the recipients of this guy coming in quick and dirty. When they're a favorite and they made 22 or more shots, just 22 or more shots. So this means this happens a lot. And they're on a non-neutral site. It's 0-10. Those teams are when they're in the favorite role after making 22 or more shots. The sharp, respected action as well coming in on Fairfield. And it's Fairfield plus 1.5. That's the play. Down to the dirty, the nitty-gritty, the quick in and out of the college basketball. It's an early game. We'll hit it hard, and we'll move on, and we'll move past that sole college basketball slot. I wish I had more, but I just don't want to, we're not going to just put plays out there for the sake of putting them out there. There's spots that I played, and there's spots I don't. And Fridays, when it comes to the MAAC, I just don't like to get overly involved in those games. Turnsy's in the house. San Jose has won me so much money this year. It says Utah under 3.5 plus 105, but I took that with thinking it was Askarov in that. Okay. Here we go. Ramon Scott running so hot. Guy's been firing, man. He gave us another winner again yesterday, I believe, in college basketball. He's got, when he puts it out there, you better take note. He likes Ryder and Canisius under 138. That's right, Canisius. You hear anybody calling it anything else, don't follow them. They don't know who that team is. Ryder and Canisius. Troy Torrance says, Chase, I bet on teams who win the trenches. QB play will follow the case of Philly. Trickle, flood. Here's Fanatical Jim. He'll be rocking with us tomorrow. He's back. We took him off the milk carton. We found him. He's got, I'm just kidding. He's got Valdez, Turchev, Visconti. He's got a one fight night play. Canarte. Get in there. Make sure you capitalize on those plays from our guy, Fanatical Jim. And Textile says, cash that Merrimack in the under today from Ramon Scott. He's running so hot. I got to listen to the rest of that song so I can come up with another bar. Let's go. Sir Mackey Love Pie's dropping a bunch of college basketball plays in there. All right, well, let's talk some college hoops. Let's go to Golden State. We'll go fast here because it's Friday. It's Friday, and we got a big stream tomorrow. Back and at it. I'm fired up. Fired up for some college or some UFC. Got a full day of everything. Why the fuck not? Let's pop this Golden State game right in the mouth. Golden State pops off at plus 6.5. They have swelled to plus 11. And you know what that means? Injury festival. 64 or lineup festival. Lineup fuckery. 64% of the bets and 52% of the cash. See a little discrepancy. Some of the sharper bettors taking a little Pacers action. 223.5 is the total. It's moved up to 224.5. And we have 89% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the over. What do we got? Well, we've got a situation where the Warriors are on the second leg of a back-to-back. They did just beat Detroit, and they did cover the spread. It was minus 2.5. But here's the important note. We recapped it. The under 222. On the flip side of things, the Pacers, they've won 4 straight games. They've gone under 3 in a row. This electrifying, high-paced Pacers offense from a year ago found themselves, when the number gets high, the total gets low. They beat up Chicago Bulls. They busted up the Brooklyn Nets, busted them up 113.99. Couldn't even get the Nets to triple digits. They took down the Suns. And incidentally, think I don't like this. I think the Suns are my least favorite team. How about that? That might be it. That might be something I just thought about on the fly here that makes a lot of sense because every time I seem to bet on them, it's Booker bullshit. It's what it is. And then they got Miami, and they took down Miami 128-115. But with all due respect, we know nobody wants to play in Miami. When the Pacers are a favorite, they're 9-11 to the under. And when the Warriors are dogs, the spot we're going to hammer is this under. They're 11-0 to the under as a dog. And it's going under by almost 17 points a game. Ridiculous as it is, we can look at the injuries. Sure, let's take a look and see who's playing. That being said, I don't think it matters. I think this is just one of those spots here where they're in the dog roll. That means they're not out there splashing and gashing and getting everybody wet with them threes. Wiggins is out. Draymond Green is out. Steph Curry's. I could have told you all of this without looking. 5-point swing in the number. Every one of them boys is out. On the flip side, Wiseman, Naismith, and Jackson going to be out for the Pacers. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. They're still going to have Siakam in there. They're still going to have Halliburton in there. But who's going to score for the Warriors? Looney? Okay. Give me some Looney. Go ahead. You put him in that lineup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bank that and follow. There's a reason when they go to dog, it's because the boys aren't playing. And they're not scoring when the boys ain't playing. So that just makes a lot of sense to me. You got to take a shot with this one here. 222.5. Let me see if that's still the best number that's up. Man, there's, you know what? He who hesitates gets the better number because now it's 224.5. Tis what it is. By the fact that it's going under by almost 17 points a game, you're catching 2-point better now against a line that opened at 223.5. So there is a little bit of movement now. It looks like some buy-in in on this over, but why? Because Buddy Hield's going to go out there and light the world on fire? I mean, look, his total's at 17.5 points. And Halliburton's more of the assist guy. I think this is still fine. I don't care that it's moved up those 2 points. I shouldn't say that. Every time I say that. I got it. I already took the 222.5. You guys ascertain what you will from that conversation, but when they're in a dog roll, it makes sense that those games go under. And I'm ready for a little intersecting under. Shout out to Scotty Foster. Movie ticket recaps. I bet the Suns last night, but didn't like it the whole game. That's how I feel about some of those teams, man. It's like I bet on them and I got to watch this thing and I'm like, why did I bet this team? I don't even want to be looking at this. I know what they're going to do. Make America Great Again, says LFG. Zofe. I remember driving 2 hours to D.C. so my nephew could see Kobe. Late scratch. Wiz stomped out. Paul Gasol, yeah. Shout out to Morgan Spooner. Stop Geoengineering's rocking with us. Sir Mackey Loves Pie says Booker is a bum. Bomb.com says Ramon Scott. Thanks for the Ryder Kadisha's pick. Both teams struggle to score second half under all night. You know what? I'm going to just blindly tail my man, Ramon Scott. Because he's running so hot. And he came off that big win last night. Canisius under. Okay, Ramon Scott. You're running so hot. I'm going to get in there and get this cash with you, my friend. Let's do it. Do it. All right. How about we move onward? We move upward. Who wants to talk some intersecting zeros? I do. Me. Me. All right. The New Orleans Pelicans. The Philadelphia 76ers. Man, Sixers are bumps. Worst part is they got busted up twice by this Pelicans team. Terrible. 7 p.m. start. The Pelicans open at 4.5-point road dogs. They've moved to 7. It's been a pretty consistent move from what I could tell all day. 5.5. It sat there for a little while. A little bit after lunchtime, it went to like 6s. And now we're seeing 7. So it's just continuing to pile on with these Sixers. Now, maybe it's because the Pelicanos announced that Zion Williamson will be suspended for conduct unbecoming. Conduct detrimental. Conduct fucking guy's insubordinate is what it comes down to. Sirlish. And this total went from 222.5 down to 219, down to 218.5. But we've got reverse movement. 77% of the bets and 70% of the cash on the over. It's coming down. Zion. Late scratch there. I don't know if he's a late scratch. I don't know. I just expect him not to be in, frankly. And then on the other side of the ball for the Sixers, look, again, Embiid, Lowry, Drummond, Martin. McCann's out for the rest of the season, by the way. They announced that last night. He will officially be done for the rest of the season. And here we go. Brandon Ingram's out on the other side. Trey Murphy's out. Who's going to score? Now, we talk about the injuries and the players sitting out and people that used to cap and wait for those updates and does it matter or doesn't it matter? Look, their backups are still pretty damn good. They can still play basketball. They can still hoop. They've been doing it their whole lives. When I looked at this total, I saw a couple of things. First and foremost, the intersecting zero spot jumped off the board. Then I looked at all the players being out, and I was like, of course. The Phillies, the 76ers, a perfect 12-0 to the under, at home, double revenge spot, versus a team shooting better than 43%. And they're going under by 16 points a game. Double revenge. Why? Because you don't want to lose to a team a third time. You can't afford to do it for standings and playoff potential. Head-to-head, competitive head-to-head, the ladder game, when you look at scheduling and everything else that goes into it, you play defense. And there's nobody out there. And then how about the intersecting point? The Pelicans are 14-0 to the under when they're on the road versus the East against a team they beat twice. Not only intersecting zeros, it's that counter weave that we talked about the other day that cashed for us as well. The fact that they both are in a situation that go under after back-to-back beatdown spots goes under by almost 11.5 points. 76ers, under for me. I did see some sharp buying coming in on the Sixers. It was in advance. This is where you can tell, like, somebody knows something because it was in advance of the Williamson news being out of this thing. And having that, it's only a 1-game suspension. So it kind of tells me maybe something's going on in the locker. Maybe he mouthed off to somebody or there was a player fight. There was something that happened out there where their star player just basically went me first and not we. He became the me monster and they had to set him in place. And so I can understand and appreciate anybody that wants to fade. Hey, I lost 2 points on that other one. I got 2 points on this one. 219. 218.5. I'm still good with it because it's 16 and 17 point differentials that we talked about in those games. So you got intersecting zeros. It's getting down there, but I'm still okay with it. There we go. Ramon says Zion missed the flight and was subsequently suspended. Punk. Second. Hang on a second. Okay. Whoop. I just saw that play didn't go through. Hate when that happens, you know? Hate when that happens. All right. Okay. Sir Mackey loves pie. Zion fell asleep in the. Yeah, I mean, there's a guy that's a me first guy. Dude, you're the star of the team. You can't show up to the fucking plane on time? I'd sit him too. I'd make him take the bus to the next game is what I would do. You get on the bus. We'll see you at the next game. How about that? Missed the plane. What's going on? And not only that, but you saw that he's all over Joy Taylor. Wants to get a piece of that. She had to block him. He's out of line. Oh, man. I won't even say it. I'll mention it tomorrow. But damn, there was a free play on Fade and Dayton the other day against UMass. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go Google that little free play. What a disappointment to miss that opportunity. All right. Let me talk to you guys real quick about the game that I missed, the game that's not on the card here. We're going to go to Madison Square Garden, a big battle. OKC trying to bounce back after that Cleveland Cavaliers lost the other night. We capitalized on it. They were 15-game streak in a row prior to that. Do they pick the ball back up and run with it? And we've got the Knickerbockers on the other side of things here. Home team, Friday night. The Garden's going to be lit. And they're dogs. Plus 1.5 has moved to 4.5 because we've got action on OKC. Perceived to be just a better team. 68% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the OKC Thunder. We got the totals dropped from 226.5 to 225.5, down all the way down to 224s. With 88% of the bet and 85% of the cash on the over. A little bit of downtick. So in doing the due diligence, we'll look and see who's in and out. Love this time of the day because we can certainly get a better handle on it. It's the usual suspect. Mitchell Robinson's out. McBride's questionable for the Knicks. Caruso, Holmgren, Flagler, all out. Topic out for the season. Mitchell, yeah. It's the usual suspects. It's Karl Anthony Towns. It's Jalen Brunson. It's the boys going to go out there and thump on a Friday night in Madison Square Garden. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen out here. Going to be a lot of glory in watching balls sinking in from all over the court with these two teams. You know, recent performance, I just talked about the OKC side of the thing, the ball. When you look on the other side, you look at the New York Knickerbockers. Hey, man, they just came off that beatdown at Toronto. It was a beatdown, too, 112-98. The Knickerbockers have gone under their number 4 of their last 5. And OKC, just coming off that over with Cleveland, that was a blazing battle, 129-122. Had 3 unders prior to that. So there's a little bit of feeling for me in this thing that we are getting an opportunity to buy low on this one. And we got another intersecting zero. Another intersecting zero play. 7-0 to the over versus the East after allowing 120 points are the OKC Thunder. 7-0 to the over versus the East after allowing 120 points. And we see that the Knicks were running 9-0 to the over as well. And I just have to double check something here. Bear with me. Believe. I think that one kind of came off because of the movement, I think that one came off the board. But it doesn't diminish my enthusiasm for seeing points flying in on this thing here. Can't give you that Knicks spot out there because, let me see. Maybe we can find a roundabout way to plug it back in. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still an overplay for me. Again, I think these guys run. I think we do see OKC pissed off that they lost that game. I think they want to go out there and they want to avenge that loss. They want to pick that streak back up and run with it. And anytime I get a team that's got that kind of motivation in their back pocket here, yeah, let's see some defense be optional. We saw that despite that Knicks game was going over, if the Raptors could have done anything, they just didn't do shit. So we'll take the over 224.5. Let's see what the best number you can gather now is. Garner a little steam on this thing here. What do we got? 224.5 is still a good number. And what's even better, it's not FanDuel that has the best number. You know how I feel about that. It's a bummer when I pop it open and see that number. So we're going to take the over. OKC Thunder on the over spot. Looking to bounce back, looking to run and gun Friday night at the Garden. The boys should have a field day. And I got one spot left. The Nasty Nate special in college hoops. NBA. The Kings and the Celtics. Little Beantown action on a Friday night. And it opened at 10. It's gone to 11.5. It's gone as high as 12s. We have 51% of the bets and 56% of the cash on the Kings. Important to note it went as high as 12, but it's coming back. They're buying back in at that 12, thinking it's too high. A 227. Mike McBride is available. He was questionable. He is going to play now. 227's gone down to 226 with 88% of the bets and 86% of the cash on the over. And yeah, the Kings are bums. They're 18-19. We saw the Celtics. What do we know about the Celtics? Well, We know after they bust a team up and they're in double-digit land, they struggle. What else do we know about the Celtics? Well, we got them in their first game back after 4 road trip. They beat up Minnesota. They beat up Houston. They lost to that OKC team. And then they busted up the Denver Nuggets, 118-106, and they covered a 10.5. They are on a cover, not cover, cover, not cover, cover, not cover stretch this season. Because what happens is when they cover and they're so public, that number there's a tax. It gets boosted. And so they have to come back and not cover to bring it back down to where that number should be. The tax goes away. The surcharge, if you will, to get involved in that spot. And who's kicking the shit out of everybody right now? Don't look. It's the Sacramento Kings. They beat up Dallas 110-100. They beat up Philly 113-107. They busted up Memphis 138-133. They shut down Golden State by 30 points at Golden State, 129-99. They hammer on that Miami team, and they kind of had themselves a reasonable little situation with a number of home games. The only road trip in that stretch was Golden State Warriors. So you got a rested Kings team and a team that's got a tax associated to it every time they cover the spread. So what do? Well, we know that the Celtics, when they're favorites of less than 13.5, with a 72% or better free throw range, they're 0-12. That kind of speaks to the tax. They were incredibly proficient at the free throw line. They snuck in all those extra points to get over that number, and then they don't necessarily let that rain when it comes back too. Now, the flip side of things, I mentioned that the Kings are rested. When you get a rested Kings off a home game, it's 8-0 to the under. Lower scoring, controlling the tempo of those games because they had time to practice on it. I do expect, Boston, if you want to quantify just that back and forth situation, they're 4-6 against the spread when they're laying a 10 spot or more at home. And they have not covered back-to-back games in this particular spot all season. Way too many points. In fact, talk about a bounce back. Only lost 1 game since they replaced it and put Doug Christie in. And now they've rolled onto a 5-game winning streak. The players are feeling free and loose. They're coming in, playing ball control because they're keeping teams to the under. And we know the Celtics struggle after they cheat the books with the tax. Give me the Kings. Sacramento. Ride or die here. We'll take the Kings. Sorry, Nasty Nate. I know, Nate. What's he saying? Let's see what Nate's saying. Let's see. Did he just log out? He doesn't want to hear it anymore. He's done. He doesn't want to hear it. Textile says Joyce. Dale Fick. I'd make him walk too, man. Saturated says the Pelicans are 2-13 last 15. Those 2 wins were versus the Wizards. There's definitely a play-on spot for the Sixers tonight as well. Road dogs of fewer than 5 points coming off a homestand of 2+ games are 17-42. And I know obviously this number's gone higher than that at this point. So I certainly could see why anybody wants to get involved. Nasty Nate says, no, too confident with OKC still on the screen. Not too confident. We'll be okay. Regardless, they can get their win. I don't think the Kings beat them up outright, but they should be competitive. And they got that rest. So they're continuing to cement their culture with this interim coach, the way that they want to play ball. And they're feeling pretty good about their responsiveness. So you could have your first quarter, your second quarter, your first half. I'm taking the backdoor cover if that's how it has to be with the second. Ideally for me, they're kicking the shit out of them all game long, and then it's just the Celtics start trying in the fourth quarter. But I saw your Celtics put up a 20 spot the other day on a was that Tuesday? 20 spot in the second quarter? Man, I'll take a shot. I mean, they played phenomenal in that second half of that game. When they came out of that locker room, they were firing. But I'm okay with that. Let's close it out. Last game on the card here, Ohio State and Texas. You guys have heard all the narratives. You've heard all the conversation. Let's see what really matters here. Let's take a look at the splits and how this cash flow has come in because we are about 30 minutes away from kickoff. Now, it's hard to imagine this isn't a home game for Texas. I mean, the Cotton Bowl's down there in Texas. This number opened at 5.5. It's gone to 6, and it's gone as high as 6.5. It has come back to 6. So shop around. You could probably still find a couple 6.5s. 59% of the bets, 54% of the cash, meaning there's that little positive differential we're looking for some of the respected bigger buyers buying now because they got that hook with the 6.5. 54.5's gone down to 51.5. You got 66% of the bets on the over, but a pretty decided split between the two on the under. I mean, at first glance, why wouldn't this game go over? Texas defense, okay, but, their offense chucks the ball around the yard clearly with Ewers. On the same side, because he chucks the ball all over the yard, he's mistake prone. He throws turnovers. No question about it. Texas offense ranks 22 in the nation, and they average a shitload of points or yards, 444 yards a game. And they're getting 279 through the air. So they're definitely more pass heavy. I think that's important, specifically because we talked a little bit about this with Penn State. You need a team that can pop the top when shit goes bad. A quick score shuts that momentum down the other team's trying to take away from you. I mentioned the turnovers. They do rank 129th nationally in turnovers, but they can fire with a whole squad of boys around them. Ewers, 3,200 yards and 29 touchdowns on the season. And its profile of the game. Texas plays tough ball, defensive oriented. They're third in total defense, allowing 278 yards a game. Fourth in points allowed at only 14.5. Maybe that's why we're seeing the under become a factor. I like Texas to cover this game. I took the 6.5. I've also got me a teaser in play. I took the Texas plus 13.5 and the under 57.5 in the teaser. Yeah. Because I do think this is going to be a little bit more of a battle and a chess match. I think it's going to be flip-flop from what we saw. I don't, just when I look at the game script and I think about this thing, I think both these offenses can come out firing. And then I think as the game progresses, the defenses will start to shine through, and probably we see a first half over, and then the full game ends up getting there on the under. So keep an eye for live betting opportunities. If you see this thing gets a couple quick scores, and you can catch that number at 61.5, I would say that like the absolute strike price, if you're looking to get a live bet on the under, is going to be 62.5. 61.5, 62.5. Kind of put that in the back of your mind. So if you do see those two quick scores, don't panic. Feel free to go out there and maybe sprinkle a unit or a half a unit around that live bet, because quick scores early leads to unders late. No scores early lead to overs late. Penn State last night was a great example of that. So that's how I'm rolling this game here. I got a double dipper. I've got the Texas plus 6.5. I've got that teaser as well. And that's how we're going to put the bow on the show for a Friday night. See if we can't finish this thing big. We had a big 7-unit week last week. Let's see if we can fire it up again this week and maybe beat those numbers. See if we can't get back on top of that as well. $100 bettor made $700 last week. $200 bettor made $1,400. Feel like the old Ramon Scott when he was talking about his 900 number days out there. But do make sure you guys check out Ramon Scott. He is running so hot. And the morning steam will pop off tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Check out my man, Ramon Scott. And, of course, get your chores done. Get the groceries packed away. Do what you got to do, because at 3:30, the money press, the printing press is open for business to start off a big 2025. I know everyone's excited about it on our side, and I hope you guys are as well. So appreciate everybody. The aforementioned promise. My man with his outro. Hope you guys have a great Friday. Get that money and get back here for a big Saturday action with Sports Money Network. On behalf of the Sports Money Network, appreciate all you guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up on the way out the door if you haven't done so already. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow.